Hey there, adventurers. There were a couple big revelations in this week's session of Dave's Imaginations Presents Dark Queen Ascension, The Fallen. Stay with me, and I'll give a full recap. Our session, Thursday, August 11th, our session began on the good ship Dillirar. We had just defeated Orthator, resolved Gloin's Gold Dragon / Dark God issue, and we're mourning the passing of our friend and companion, Katota. Our crew is now on board the good ship Dillirar and has been embarked on a 10-day journey to the Ruins of Ascarl. We began the evening discussing how each character was spending those 10 days. Olak was upgrading Minnie, and Ruckus was examining his new shimmer ring and spending time with Macath, who Macath, was, as fate would have it, was overindulging in new ideas. Strider was busy trying to make some more healing potions. Varinka had become withdrawn and a bit obsessed with watching over their newfound treasure. And Gloin spent the time trying to drown his sorrows, a mug of ale. Now, during the voyage, we had our first reveal of the evening as Wes, our player, would now be assuming the role of Captain Shimber. He had made Captain Shimber, had been developed as 11th level Bard of Eloquence. By day 10, the Dillirar reached the north shores of the Purple Rocks, but it took 3 days wandering through those purple rocks and over those ruins before they spotted something that might be Zertes Sunken Palace. The boat spotted a rowboat tethered to a small circle of rocks, and a makeshift flag had been erected, and a metal lid was sticking up, and a ladder was leading down a hole into the water. Now, before they descended into the hole, Gloin turned into a dragon, and Ruckus turned into a shark, and they swam around the sunken structure. And above the table, it was a submarine. Everybody knew it was a submarine, but the characters don't know it was a submarine. Entering the sunken palace, the party found a wet path leading to an adjacent room, a room that had some high-pitched crying. Shimber wanted to ignore the cries and move forward, but everyone else decided to check it out. It turned out that a Chul had pinned some small children in a corner. Gloin opened the door, and Ruckus got a pot shot off before Gloin transformed into Grolgark, the young gold dragon, and blasted the lobster with his fire breath. It didn't take him very long to get over Katota and turn back into a gold dragon. The battle continued until Varinka sucked the life out of the creature with her Toll the Dead spell. While the battle was going on, the three kids ran out the other entrance, and all the way yelling for something called Ernie. Ernie turned out to be an animated urn, which I played up as Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast. Ernie calmed down the emotions and led everyone through a garden room to a kitchen. In each room, I made sure to point out a glyph in each of the respective rooms. In the kitchen, Shimber and the kids got a drink and a snack. Shimber got a little bit more potent drink. And at the table, though, Olak, Varinka, and Shimber found a recipe on a piece of paper. And as they read through that recipe, they saw that in the lines, it was missing all of the H's. When they pointed out that the H's were missing, a stone tablet appeared, and etched on that stone tablet was the letter H. Now, meanwhile, across the hall, Gloin and Ruckus were intrigued by a room that sounded like it contained a storm. Ruckus opened the door and quickly cast Dispel Magic, and which made that storm subside. And on the floor, in the middle of the floor, Ruckus found that the storm had been coming from a bottle that was missing its cork. Now, Ruckus corked the bottle and put it in one of his bags. And meanwhile, Gloin entered the room and did a little search, and he found a mundane urn of ashes. And at the same time, Ruckus also found a small bell, which he rang, which unleashed a silence spell cast on himself. He eventually going to dispel the silence spell on Ruckus, and a knock spell was cast on a locked door to the bridge. Olak was captivated with the technology on the bridge, but eventually they opened a latch to stairs to the lower level. Beyond the first door of the lower level, they find two large mechanical devices on either side of the path that they would take. The devices are giving off a tremendous amount of heat, and when Varenka sends her echo through it, it gets zapped by a bolt of lightning. This lightning was quite potent and giving like 20 points of damage, half on a dexterity check. Some get through this small hallway via a teleportation spell. Others, they just take the damage. Beyond the mechanical devices, they find Modrons frantically working the room. Olak brings out Minnie. Minnie seems to communicate with the Modrons and starts to help, but is unable to power down the mechanical devices. The Modrons try to communicate, but only speak random words that begin with the letter L. Someone comments on this fact, and another tablet is presented. This one etched with the letter L. They open the door on the far side of the room to find an abandoned captain's quarter. On the far side of this room is a doorway against a blank wall. Above the doorway is a set of glyphs. Under each glyph is a depression exactly the size of a couple tablets they had received. They figure out the letters relate to the glyphs of the room the letter was found in. With a heavy sigh, they need to go back through the lightning to get back to the upper level. But they do, and they figure out the series of puzzles and riddles to find the letter related to each glyph. Another sigh, and back through the lightning and back to the captain's quarters. They put all the letters in the slots, in the spaces, and Shimmer tells them, I might have failed to mention that Zertes is actually a beholder. The letters spell out the word beholder. Each tile placed in the with each tile in place, a portal opens, and they can't see through it, but it's obviously they're supposed to step through this magical doorway to enter Zertes' treasure room. And this is where we left our evening. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. Please take a moment to hit the like, and if you haven't already, subscribe and click that notification bell if you haven't. Now, our last two live shows had 30 views and 24 views respectively. What? Blowing my mind. This might seem like a small number, but really, it blows my mind that actually somebody might be watching these. If you are watching this and it happens to be you, I would love for you to put a comment in. How did you find us? Are you enjoying it? Oh, so exciting. If it happens to be you, please leave a comment, and I'd love to connect. All right, finally, will our adventurers still help Shimber find the healing stone? Will they survive Captain Zertes' steal the beholder, the pirate? Will Strider come to their aid? All this and more next week on Dave's Imaginations presents Dark Queen Ascension, The Fallen. Till then, take care.